Hey guys, it's Christmas week here at the Funny Farm, Every Man's Funny Farm, and I'd promised myself I'd make a few videos about memories from Christmas past. So this one today, I was trying to think of a title, and I think it's going to be Pigs, Fashion, and People. So this got started this morning when I went into my closet to pick out a shirt to wear for the day, and I picked this old plaid shirt. And I thought, gosh, I've always loved this shirt. How long have I had it, really? Seems like forever. Turns out I've had it for over 40 years. So I'll start with the pigs thing. So that day, I wore this shirt, and as was our tradition in our family, we regularly, at least two, sometimes three times a year, would cook a pig over an open fire. So this was our Christmas pig, and we would go down to Mr. Weekly's house. He was a friend of mine. He was an old black gentleman. He and I used to work together, and he had a big sprawling house out in the middle of the woods, and he raised pigs as a sideline. It should have been his major line because he had like 150 pigs, all different colors, all different sizes. And he had a big fence around a wooded lot in the back of his house. And he also had a lot of grandkids. He had, I think, all of his grandkids living with him. I think there were 7 bedrooms in that home. And I'd called him and told him we were coming down. And we did this every year. It was tradition. So the tradition went that we would go, he would call up his hogs as if to feed them. They would come running out of the woods, and we'd pick out the one we wanted and try to shoot it in the head so it died quickly and painlessly. And this particular year, my oldest son, Gabe, said, "Hey, Dad, do you think it'd be okay if I shot the pig this year?" And I said, "Well, Gabe, you can try it. You're a great shot. And yeah, I'll pick out the pig I need, and you shoot it. Just make a good shot." Okay. So we got to Weekly's, and all the grandkids came running out, and they were playing with my kids. And we walked to the back lot, and Weekly called the pigs and the hogs. You know, the difference in a pig and a hog is a pig that gets over 120 pounds. Simple enough. So they all come running out, and it's kind of harem scarum. It's a little frightening. So my kids, they were real young, and they always enjoyed this part of it. And I picked out a little pink pig. I said, "Gabe, I need a 50-pounder, and that little pink one's perfect there." He said, "Okay." So he took careful aim with his little .22 rifle, and he followed it around. They're running everywhere because they think they're getting fed. And Gabe shot, and he didn't hit her in the head. He hit her in the ear, and it pierced her ear, and she screamed bloody murder, goes twisting and warping around in the yard, and all the kids are running, so I had to grab the gun real quickly and catch up with the pig and shoot it in the head. And I did so, and she died quickly. So my kids grab her by the back legs, and they're dragging her out. We're headed toward the gate, and there was one of Weekly's grandkids was swinging on the gate, and he had been watching all this. And as I got closer to him, I realized he was crying. He wasn't just crying, he was bawling. Big tears running down his face. And I rubbed him on the head. I said, what's the matter, little guy? It's okay. And he said, "Her name was Barbie." Oh, my goodness. Out of 150 pigs, I'd picked his pet. And Weekly, being a businessman, he didn't care. Those kids all had pets, and it was all about the pig business. But, oh my goodness, when my kids heard that little boy crying about that being his pet, it brought it all home, believe me, all at once. It killed the joy of the situation. So that year, very few of my kids enjoyed the roasted pig over the spit. Anyhow, I was thinking about all that, and I'd chosen this shirt, as I told you, and realizing that it was over 40 years old, and I thought, wow, I've always said that dress for comfort, not for fashion, as you can probably tell, right? But through my early experience, I sang with the symphony. I was in theater a lot, and I got to dress up a lot. I bought some nice clothes and had tuxedos. You believe? Hey, my mother in 1970 bought me a canary yellow leisure suit. I know fashion. Anyhow, my old adage about buy good clothes when you can afford them, buy good ones. This shirt, if I starched it and pressed it, it'd be beautiful. And it's 40 years old, and I don't think it has a hole in it. Good fabric. That's one of the keys. Good fabric. This is an old polo shirt, so think about that when you're buying these Chinese reproductions. Just saying. So we had kind of a cataclysmic affair with the pig, and it changed everything at the house, because it had gone from what we understood as our right and responsibility to properly harvest this pig, and it had delved into the personalities of the kids at Weekly's house and what might have been their Christmas joy, what might have been their Christmas expectations for the little boy on the swinging gate. And so I was thinking about clothes and how all of this fits together. And many years ago, I was a medical missionary in South Korea, and it was down in the southern part of the country. It was very rural. And every morning I would get up early, especially on the weekends, and go to the city market. And it was wonderful. All the vegetables and things I'd never seen before, and animals that they regularly sell at the market. And I would see these hogs, not pigs, but hogs, like 200 and 300 pounds on the back of a motor scooter, on the luggage rack of a motor scooter, with a little skinny Korean guy driving it early in the morning. And so I was asking some of the people there that were my interpreters, I said, how do they ever get those pigs, those hogs, to hold still long enough to get them tied down, strapped down with rope on the back of a motor scooter to carry to the market? And they said, oh, they have a special beer that they feed the hogs before they do this. And the hog gets very sleepy and drunk, and they tie him down. And it wasn't 2 days later, a guy came up in the market when I was there, and he had a freshly soused hog on the back of his motor scooter. And the hog was so drunk, his eyes were open, but he was so drunk his tongue was hanging out the side of his mouth. And he was very happy. He had a big smile on his face. So those are my memories of hogs and pigs and fabric. I was also thinking about the fabric in Korea, which is wonderful. Some of the wealth of every family is stored up in silk bolts of cloth rolled up of fine silk, some of it patterned and some of it embroidered, and they would roll it up and keep it under their beds. It's like a bank account. Some of these bolts were worth tens of thousands of dollars. Some of them were very old. They'd been in the family for 200 or 300 years. So that inspired some more thoughts. Anyhow, these are just some of my Christmas time remembrances. And hope you enjoy it. And I would love to hear your stories about Christmas. And just send them to me. Remember to like this if you enjoy these stories. And follow us on YouTube here, and I'll be publishing some more, I'm sure. God bless. Have a good day.